afternoon, evening, and good night to whenever you are watching this regular video. It is Mr. Lowry once again. I am here to talk about reteaching 2C. And the purpose of 2C was being able to sketch a polynomial. So in relationship to that, in relationship to being able to sketch a polynomial, it's kind of the culmination of all the items that we referred to within the particular topic. Now, when I go back and I look at everyone's 2C, what ended up happening is that some part that you had to find, you did not find correctly. So it threw off how to actually make the sketch. So if you miss sketch the polynomial, it's probably because one of the features that goes with it was not one of your best friend when you ended up trying to actually make the sketch. So I want to go through all the parts you need to make the sketch, and then we're going to talk about how do you actually sketch at the end of the day. So in relationship to that, here we go. So we're going to jump into this example, and what we end up noticing with this example what we ended up noticing is we have a polynomial, we got some negatives that are there. So we're going to kind of handle this just to make sure we're good to go. So here we go. All right. So when we first notice this, one thing we need to find are going to be the zeros. So to be able to find the zeros, we literally do the opposite of what we see inside our parentheses. So since we have x plus 2, that's going to be negative 2, 0 on our graph. Right there. We have x minus 1, so that's going to be 1, 0 on our graph. We have x plus 7, so that is going to be negative 7, 0 on our graph. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we have x minus 2, so that's going to be 2, 0 on our graph, which is right there. Okay. So the first thing we want to find is going to be our zeros. The next thing we want to go ahead and find is going to be our end behaviors. Now, this is going to be based upon our degree. So we count how many x's we have. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So since we have 4, that is our degree. But our leading coefficient is a negative. It's looking at us right in the face. So our end behaviors are going to both be going downward. So when we look at our graph, we go to the far left, and from there, we're going to point the graph down. On the far right, also point down. Now, the last part of this graph is going to be the multiplicity. How many times did each of our zero occur? Now, when we look back at our list of zeros, what we notice is that all of our zeros only occur once. So in our graph, we're going to go straight through each of those points. So we're going to graph them like normal. So when we get to negative 2, 0. Oops, hold on. Nope, I have a mistake in my graph because I wasn't looking correctly. See, Mr. Lowry makes mistakes as well. Let me fix my mistake. Some of you may have seen it and been crying it out, but I'm not hearing you. So let me fix my mistake. My mistake is when I got to negative 7, 0, I graphed it like it was positive 7. See, Ms. Lowry makes mistakes as well. So let me go ahead and fix that so that I am accurate in what I'm telling you. So let's see. So 1, 0 is good. 2, 0 is good. Negative 2, 0 is good. So let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure I count this correctly because y'all will point it out to me, which I love. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So now let me put back in all the items that I did. My end behavior is still the same. Far left goes down, far right goes down. Multiplicity is still only happening once for each of these. So when I get to negative 7, I go straight through, turn. At negative 2, I go straight through, turn. At 1, I go straight through, turn. And then at 2, I go straight through. So remember, how high you make the curves, they don't matter. Okay, make the turn somewhere, and your graph should look something like this. Now, y'all know I do better graphs in class. This is because I'm using my technology, which is okay. It should look something like this. So as a recap, I found the zeros. I plot them on the graph. I found my end behavior using my degree and leading coefficient. I sketched that on the graph. Then I looked at each of my zeros to see how many times they occur, and that told me my multiplicity. And I used that to be able to graph. Now I didn't go just straight down my list, left to right on my graph. I talked about it from the when I hit that point. What do I do? Okay. Let me do one more example to hopefully kind of land this plane for us. All right. So for this particular equation, we still have a negative, which is fine. But for this one, excuse me, we have our statement, our polynomial. So we're going to do the same process we did before. First, find our zeros. So we have x plus 5, so that's negative 5, 0. So negative 5, 0 would be here. We have x minus 1, so that'll be 1, 0. We have x minus 0, so that's going to be 0, 0. And then we have x minus 2, which is going to be 2, 0. So negative 5, 1, 0, 2. All right, all good there. Next step is going to be to find our end behaviors. So we find our degrees. Now we have a 3 here, so that is going to affect how many times we have x plus 5. We have 3. So we have 3 negative 5 zeros. We have 1 negative 1 or 1 0. We have 2 0 zeros, and we have 1 2 0. So 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. And then we have 1, which is 7. So our degree is 7. That's an odd number. So they're going to go opposite direction. But we still have the negative leading coefficient. So the left side is going to go up. The right side is going to go down. So we put those in place to make sure we're good to go. So this goes up. This goes down. Now, let's talk about the multiplicity. We just wrote those here in white in the circle. So in doing so, we now know how each one occurs. So here we go. At negative 5, we have it happen 3 times. So we're going to go to that point, snake through it, and then keep going. Come back up. We add 0, 0. That happens twice. So we're going to bounce. So touch that point, come back down. At 1, we're going to go straight through like normal. Then at 2, we go straight through. So this is what our graph is going to look like. And that's it. We have our sketch. Everything's identified, and we're good to go. So once again, hopefully this video is helping you at least put some things in place so that you're able to be successful when you are able and you're ready to begin to retake this particular topic. All right. So once again, I thank you for even taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully it has been helpful to you. If you need to get a hold of me in any way, once again, you can always use the Microsoft Team Chat. That is one of the quickest way to get a hold of me. I may not respond very quickly, but I'll definitely try to respond at my earliest convenience to respond to your message. Also, if you need to email me, you can definitely email me. That's listed right there in the tracker or the ticker. And so make sure you reach out if you need to. If you are needing to access any information related to the workbook, maybe you don't know where your workbook is at, or you don't know where to find it, or you want to share it with those who are invested in your education and what's going on in math, you can use this tiny URL link. There are links to you as a student, as well as to family members and other support systems that you have. Last but not least, definitely continue to visit the Canvas page as lessons are up there. I try to keep things, I'm going to try to do a better job updating some information there, especially since the season has changed over, and just trying to make sure it's a place where actually useful for us. So I want to make sure you have that information. If there's any other questions, like I said, you know how to get a hold of me. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you the next time I see you in my class or in the hallway. Have a wonderful day.